Throughout an AFL pre-season, clubs will try anything to get an edge over their opposition. Some clubs have invested in travelling overseas for altitude or heat training. Other clubs have taken players to walk the Kokoda Trail. But oftentimes, things can get a little weird. Such as when Adelaide Crows champion Nigel Smart suggested that his club introduce a motivational speaker that specialised in firewalking. I'm Jackson from Off the Play, and this is Nigel Smart's Firewalk and other weird pre-season training. In 1992, Nigel Smart arranged for a motivational speaker to join the club on their pre-season camp at Rapid Bay. This motivational speaker's party trick was getting so far inside people's minds that they could walk across hot coals. Because, of course, there is such a strong correlation between playing football and walking on fire, the Crows decided that this was a great idea. He spoke to the playing group for a couple of hours, convincing them that the coals were as cold as ice. The players were lined up to walk across a 10-metre pit of burning coals with an estimated temperature of 400 degrees Celsius. As the one who came up with the idea, Nigel Smart went first and successfully walked across the smouldering hot coals. Well, kind of. Unfortunately for the defender, he allegedly suffered first-degree burns to both feet. Before embarking on his walk, Smart chanted, "Cold sand, cold sand." But as it turned out, it actually felt a little closer to smouldering hot coals, and Smart would later say, "Well, they're not cold sand, are they?" After Smart's turn, the Crows' president ordered that the firewalk be called off before any more of his players could walk across. When all was said and done, Smart would earn himself the nickname Not So. Ha ha! I get it! Adelaide always seemed to come up with such great ideas for their pre-season camps. But don't worry, Crows fans, your club isn't the only one to confuse the hell out of people with their pre-season ideas. At the end of 2003, with minimal rations, the Bombers had a training program that included mountain bike marathons, sand dune climbs and hill runs while carrying hay bales. They also had to test their balance on a tower of milk crates, with Coach Kevin Sheedy believing the experience was character building. Now, I don't know about you guys, but this seems kind of dangerous, and it really makes you wonder about the double standards clubs impose on players when you consider the fact that Nick Naitanui was cancelled by West Coast for the simple action of a slam dunk at an NBL game. The Tigers went up to North Queensland to build sandcastles, while the Western Bulldogs, now here is a club that always conducted their post-season and pre-season a little differently. The Doggies also have a weird fetish with jumping out of planes. In 1993, Footscray coach Terry Wheeler was looking for an edge during pre-season and decided to make his players parachute into Port Phillip Bay. Some players were obviously more reluctant than others, with one of the most fearful players being club legend Dougie Hawkins. But the Bulldogs great psyched himself up and was able to overcome that little voice in his head and eventually make the jump. So, what did Hawkins and his teammates learn from the parachute jump, you ask? Well, according to quotes from Dougie, nothing. They didn't make the finals that year. The Bulldogs were at it again in 2010 with several players, including defender and future captain Easton Wood, skydiving during a week-long camp in Queenstown, New Zealand. Hawthorn were the originals when it came to thinking outside the box during pre-season training. The great John Kennedy started this with military-related activities way back in the late 1960s, and it's a theme that has continued with the club to this day. You have the much publicised Kokoda Trail Walk, but there was also a series of blindfolded activities the club had to undertake during a camp in Tasmania in 2006. The group had to do a number of missions and activities, including pitching a tent blindfolded, which, stuff that, I can't even construct a tent without a blindfold and an instruction manual in front of me. St Kilda went on a camp in the late 1980s, which might just very well take the cake when it comes to stupidity. Apart from grueling runs through Werribee Gorge carrying logs, there were also some novel games, such as playing basketball wearing one boxing glove, with which you were allowed to punch whoever had possession of the ball. You see, it's things like this that make it little wonder this club has only won one flag over 100 years. It seems like the kind of stupid game a bunch of dumb high school jocks would come up with, which kind of explains everything. The hybrid game was later abandoned when one player broke his wrist while belting another, which yes, I understand is a huge shock to everybody. In January 1996, the Saints were back in Bacchus Marsh for a similar experience, albeit this time slightly more normal. This camp included abseiling and a high ropes course thrown in. And that's our video. What weird pre-season activities have I missed out on? Do you know of any other stories? Or perhaps have experienced something strange yourself with a local club? Please let us know in the comments and don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching.